It is finally deer season. I got lucky enough this year, for the first time ever, I put in for a multi-season tag, picked up my first bow in the spring, and have been practicing all summer. Been at the range, backyard, up in the field, trying all sorts of different stuff to try to get on point, to see if I can get myself my first deer with a bow. Got a couple days here to be able to run over to Eastern Washington. Got my buddy Brad Johnson, who owns some great hunting property in Eastern Washington. He's got the Flatiron Ranch and some other spots, and he's seen some deer moving through, some shooter bucks, a lot of does, a lot of game. There's all sorts of pheasants and chucker and everything. This is just prime country over in Eastern Washington, so I'm really excited to be able to just go over there and check it out. For one, Brad's over there, and he's gonna get me set up and kind of show me the area where to go, but I'm gonna probably go in and see if I need to spot and stalk or set up a blind. Most likely I'll set up a blind and kind of watch some game trails, but I'm excited. It's beautiful over there, and I'm ready to go. Let's go see if we can find a big stinky mule deer. By early afternoon, I got to the area I was hunting, and Brad was right. This place is incredible deer country. Immediately after setting up my blind, I started glassing, and deer were running all over the place. The first couple hours of the hunt, I saw over 30 deer, but no legal bucks. In the area I was hunting, it was 3-point or better. Then, from about 800 yards away, I catch this 4-point whitetail, which is also open in the area, stepping out of his bed. But nothing between me and him was open country, and with little light left, I decided not to make the difficult stalk on him. I watched deer for the rest of the afternoon, running and feeding everywhere, but nothing legal and nothing close enough coming by my blind or to make a move on. First thing the next morning, I was making my way up the mountain, and I spotted doe and a real nice 3-point muley right on the edge of the field, about 400 yards away. I had a little bit of cover, so I decided to crawl and see if I could get close enough for a shot. After about 300 yards of crawling, through the brush and a heavy breeze at my back, the deer probably had me busted before I even got out of my truck. They were both looking right at me and decided it was time to get out of there. After that missed opportunity, I got quickly down into the draw and set up my blind on a game trail. Within 10 minutes, I saw these 2 bucks staring up the ridge right at me, and one of them was a shooter. They seemed very leery about my blind and didn't seem to want to come any closer. After about half an hour hanging around, they disappeared out of sight, and I didn't expect to see them again. Then about 10 minutes later, I look above me out of my blind and see them standing about 25 yards away, making their way down the game trail. I fired up the cameras and was hoping the 3-point would give me an opportunity for a shot. This is when my heart sank. I see an arrow sticking out of the backside and can tell he's wounded severely, as I never want to injure a deer and disappointed that I didn't make the best shot. But I knew he was heavily wounded, so I called Brad and had him come up the mountain to help me track the buck. Okay, so we're in the spot where I just shot him, and him and his 2-point buddy went down the hill, and we spotted him down in some brush. The 2-point is standing up, staring at us, but it looks like the other buck, the bigger buck that I shot, is still in the brush. We saw him standing up for a minute, and he's kind of tucked down, and the 2-point went in and checked on him, and then in the last 10 minutes or so, he's popped out and still looking at us. We haven't spotted the other guy. Hopefully he's laying down, waiting a little bit to see if he'll bleed out, and we can go check in just a little bit. We didn't have eyes on the 3-point, but we knew he was there. Finally, the 2-point decides to take off and runs off out of sight over the ridge. I was hoping the 3-point had bled out and piled up in the brush. It had been about 3 hours since my first shot, and it was very warm out, so I decided to make my move on the buck. That's when I see him standing up, and he ran up over the next ridge. We could definitely tell he was very wounded, and no, he wouldn't go far. Okay, so we found him under a tree. He kind of took off after we had waited over 2 hours looking for him. And we went down to his bed, and he got up and just burst in and hopped the fence, but he didn't go very far. He only went like 300 yards. So we went across the ridge. He kind of disappeared out of sight, so we slowly crept over the ridge, and he was under another pile of brush, just all piled up, struggling. He was struggling, injured long enough, so I crept up within a few feet of him and put another arrow in him to finish the harvest. Now I think we got him piled up down here. Let's go check it out.
Now the fun part.
Here he is. Nice little 3x3. Couple little small forks. He's small, little guy, but busted that arrow. One there right in the lungs. Oh man. What a tough mule deer. 4 hours after the first shot, we finally got him. Well, it wasn't the perfect hunt, and I still have a lot to learn about bow hunting, but it was a ton of fun on Brad's property and have a full freezer for the family. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can see our latest videos as they come out. Follow us on Instagram at Bucking Outdoors and like us on Facebook to follow all the Bucking Outdoors adventures.